Okay, what is up with this? So it insists that I am indeed live right now, and I am going to go on that assumption. I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going to happen. I'm going to be playing a little bit of a prank on you guys, just a fun little thing. Um, I'm going to be messing around with a particular word, and I'm not telling you in advance what that word is. Okay? So is everybody ready, more or less? I confirmed that it is indeed live right now. It took me a while to confirm that, but yes. Yeah. So is everybody ready, more or less? Alright. So, fun thing, we don't always remember things the way we think we do, right? You know, things seem to change, when different people start telling stories about things that happen. So how do you know what actually happened? Because the only way you really know is if, someone wrote it down or something like that, right? Because if no one did write anything down, then you just start changing things. That's how your memory works. Your memories start changing on your own because your brain decides to remember what is important and not remember simply everything. So sometimes you just kind of forget things. And sometimes it'll insist that you should be able to remember something that simply didn't happen, and it'll just make up stuff from whole cloth. So, are you sure that you remember the things that you think you do? Or have you forgotten what it is that you can actually remember? Because, forgetting things is natural, it's fine, it's okay. Forgetting things that you don't need to know is how you're able to learn new things, and so forgetting to remember things actually lets you relax. And in case you forget, you remember that at the very least I'm here and we're recording this, so eventually you will remember what actually did happen. Maybe. But, as long as we have this recording together, as long as we are all together, we don't really need to remember what is happening right now. And if we don't need to remember, there's no reason why we can't just relax and sink and drift together. Because maybe you will remember relaxing and sinking together, or maybe you're remembering all the other times that we've done this. And it might be easy to just feel how good it is to listen together, to relax and remember. And it feels nice to just be able to experience that, to let go and drift. And so, you might even feel that you're awakening, or do you remember having gone to sleep instead? And maybe you don't even remember awakening the last time, because sometimes you just wake up and you don't even remember how you woke up, or what happened before. So now, there are certain words that sometimes, we forget how they're actually supposed to sound in our heads. Certain things that we forget because we don't say them very often, we don't think about them very often, so why would we, keep perfect track of exactly how we're supposed to say it? Because it's not always important to, is it? It's only important to really be able to recognize it. And so, do you remember how it feels to know that you've forgotten something? Or are you remembering, in fact, the sensation of forgetting? That little knowledge that something has just gone away, forgotten, evaporated. And so, we all know about penguins, right? The birds that live on the Antarctic, and how they, swim underwater and, catch fish, and do things like that. But are we remembering, in fact, that they are actually penguins? Or are you remembering that they might be called something else? Something that's just out of reach, and if you just keep on trying, eventually you might actually say actually say what they're actually called. You might, in fact, know that they are penguins, or penguins, or something like that. After all, if you can't really check right now, how do you know? And so, while you're here with me, while you're here together right now, just remember that it's okay to forget how to say penguins, even if you don't remember that you're remembering to forget to say penguins. And so, you might even think about penguins diving under the water, diving under the surface of the ocean, diving to where the sun can't reach, where the light fades away, and you just kind of feel like that whole sensation of darkness, of night, of falling asleep, and thinking about them diving underneath the surface, and how it's relaxing and safe for them. And then when they come back up to the surface, perhaps you will remember the sensation of awakening, the sensation of becoming more aware, the sensation of being awake and clear and focused. So, relax, everybody, and remember and think of penguins, which are definitely not penguins, or definitely are penguins. 3, 2, 1. Wide awake. And so now, how is everybody feeling? And so, does anybody remember thinking about a particular thing? Alright, so pretty good, pretty good. I'm good, I'm okay. It's like people are forgetting how to talk, right? I mean, it would indeed be a new one, especially for a lot of us. It would be a new one for me, actually, if I forgot how to talk. So, I mean, if you don't remember what you forgot, is it important to remember what you forgot, or was it okay to forget all along? times like that, I wish I had a Twilight Zone theme on a hotkey. So, anybody remember thinking about penguins? Alright, so who wants to try to say it out loud? No one. Are you sure? Alright, so when you say that name in your heads, what are you actually saying? Are you sure? Think about how it sounds. I see a penguins. That's how that sounds in somebody's head. Oopsie. And I'm also seeing a penguins. So yes, in response to your earlier question, that was indeed the prank. As long as you guys are here with me right now, you're not going to be able to say penguins properly. That would be a fun little effect that we could all enjoy. Hey, just be glad I didn't do anything about potatoes. Or worse, make you guys misspell potatoes, because that would make the rest of the conversation for the rest of this evening really confusing. Because a lot of the people here talk about potatoes. Yep. You don't look at Maine enough. It's a long-standing joke, yes, about punishments. For your ignorance of these matters, I challenge you to meet me on the field of honor at dawn. Our weapons, potato guns. As far as I remember, there was a challenge to a hypno duel involving somebody picking up potato chips at a store while they were on voice call or something like that. That's what I've pieced together just from reading Maine a lot. Oh, sure, you'd say it was a civil debate. Now, weeks later, are you sure perhaps your memory did not change over time? If you remember, I was talking about just that exact thing. And if you don't remember, well, sucks to be you. Depends, is the potato fried first? No. Oh, oh, oh. Alright, so all you guys listening later, thank you all for joining us, and I will see you all next week. I'm going to end the stream right about